Hello, I'm Dan Sheppard, TV producer director at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. Today we're going to show you how to take your teleconferences from this
to this. You can do it. Stand by, we'll show you how.
Rule number one is have good audio. People will watch bad video, they will not listen to bad audio. It's going to make a big difference, the mic placement that you have. Right now I'm probably about 2 or 3 feet away from the microphone. You're probably hearing lots of echo. If I were to get closer, which is not something you want to see, you can probably, it sounds a little bit better. But if I move farther away, it's going to sound worse. It's going to sound much worse. So rule number one, get good audio. If you can afford to buy a microphone, buy a microphone. There are lots of cheap microphones out there. I'm going to include a list below in the show notes, so check those out. Purple Panda makes a highly reviewed cheap microphones, probably around $40. There's several of them. Watch the video that I'm going to put a link to. There's many choices for good cheap microphones. I'm going to pin this microphone on me right here. But one thing I'm not going to do is leave it like this because I don't want this wire showing. I'm going to go ahead and run that up my shirt and run that properly.
Okay, I've got the wire nicely placed underneath my shirt. Sounds much better, I'm sure. And the last thing with our audio I'm going to tell you is please wear earbuds. I'm sure you've been on a teleconference already and you hear yourself when you speak into the mic. And it's really annoying and you're really trying hard to concentrate because you're hearing yourself. Well, the reason is because you're not wearing earbuds. Either you are not wearing earbuds or someone on the other end of the teleconference is not wearing earbuds and you're hearing yourself through their speakers. So, wear earbuds. And then I'm not just going to put them right here so you can see this wire. I'm going to dress them up a little bit. So, let's put them in. You've seen people on TV do this all the time, I'm sure. But let's put them in over our ear and then have the cord go back behind you so that people don't see that wire. Also, please don't forget to mute yourself when you're not speaking. The group doesn't need to hear your every little move. And try to mute cell phones and anything else that might be distracting. Okay, I've got my earbuds in. Sounds good. Remember, if you learned one thing from this video, get good audio, please. Now, let's take a look at the video.
The Brady Bunch.
Most of us who are over 30 have probably seen the Brady Bunch a time or two. And remember back to the intro, the Bradys, they're divided up into sections. They're divided up into thirds. We've got thirds on this side, and we're going to divide up our screen into thirds here as well. Put your eyes on that top 1/3 line. If you put your eyes on the top 1/3 line, that's the best place. You're going to give yourself enough headroom, and then center yourself up so that you're in the center of the screen. The rest of this video, we're going to focus on making you look like the professional that you are. And don't do what I'm doing. Don't wear a white shirt. White shirt is going to glow. It's going to be distracting. Don't wear a shirt that's brighter than your skin tones are. Don't wear a shirt that's got a lot of tight patterns. That's going to look like it's electric and crawling everywhere, and you don't want to do that either. And don't use distracting virtual backgrounds. They don't look very good, and your audience will be more interested in your background than you. Lastly, dress to your audience. If you would speak to your audience wearing a suit, then wear a suit. So dress to your audience. Finally, let's talk about our set design. Let's talk about our lighting. Remember earlier when I talked about sound and I said you need to get close to your microphone. Well, the same principles apply to lighting. So here, this is a cheap light that I got a few years ago. It's probably cost about $30, but as you can see, it's pretty bright. And if I had this light over here, it's probably gonna be way too bright and I'm really glowing like a Christmas turkey right now. But it's also pretty harsh, I bet. I could probably do something like this. We can get kind of scary looking. But the light looks pretty harsh because it's not very diffused. So in order to get good soft lighting, we need a nice soft light source. And let's show you that. Okay, I've got the lights set up on a stand over here to my right, your left, and it looks pretty harsh. So what I'm going to do next, we're going to take these cheap lights And again, I'm going to put links to some lights down in the show notes so you can see some good cheap lights you could get if you want to go that far with it. But next we're going to soften up those lights. So what I have here is a handy dandy diffuser, and these are really crazy expensive, so you might really shop around for these. Just kidding, this costs like $15 maybe, or $30 if you get a really nice one. But what it's going to do, it's going to really soften up that light, and you can see right there how much softer my face is just by adding this diffusion. It makes this light source much bigger, and it makes it much softer. Okay, we've got our fancy schmancy diffusion up over here to my right, but what if you can't afford something nice like that? Well, there's many things around the house you could probably use to diffuse your light. Things like wax paper, a white pillowcase, newspaper, plastic bags, bubble wrap, a shower curtain, maybe even toilet paper. I'm just kidding. We can't go that far. You know, toilet paper is way too valuable right now to be using as a diffusion. You could also use a lamp with a shade like the one back behind me. I would take that shade though and just tilt it away from you a little bit so that you're not getting any direct lighting on you. Make sure the light that's on you is going to be nice and soft, nice and diffused. You can also use a window as a light, but again, pull those shades down, make sure that window is nice and soft on you. One thing you never want to do is use that window as a backlight. Don't have a window behind you, because all you're going to be able to see is the window behind you, and then your face is going to be dark because your camera is probably going to close down and you're going to look dark, and the window is going to look just fine behind you. Okay, now let's fill in all these shadows over here on the left side of my face. And we're going to use another very expensive piece of equipment right here. This is poster board. This poster board came from any local retailer you've got, or you can probably buy it online. But I'm going to use this poster board, and you can see it making a difference here as I put it up next to my face. I'm going to use it to bounce the light off of this nice soft light up here, and we're going to bounce it onto this side of my face. You could also use another light source if you had it over here, but again, make sure that it is soft, make sure it's diffused, and you're going to look much better. These are just the basics that you can do to take your video conference to the next level. Make sure your sound is good, make sure you're looking good. Anything else we're going to do is just really icing on the cake. So again, we're going to dress up the set a little bit. Let's have a nice fireplace going on over here, and this lamp still looks a little bright. Alexa, take the couch lamp to 25%.
Okay.
All right, that looks a little better. So again, if you learn one thing from this video, that one thing to learn is get good audio. Please wear your earbuds. You can probably do that real simply. And then if you can afford it, get a mic, or get as close as you possibly can to the microphone that you will be using. Again, I'm Dan Sheppard, television producer, director at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. And hopefully with a few tips that you've learned today, you can take your video conference to the next level. Thanks for watching.